Yo, what's good, family? Welcome back to the Urban Concrete. We're about to take a deep dive into the realest, most ancient concrete on the planet. We talking about Ethiopia. This ain't just another travel vlog. This is a breakdown of the nation that's been holding it down since day one, literally. See, while the rest of the world was trying to figure out how to walk, Ethiopia was already the blueprint. We're talking about a land forged by fire and literally torn apart by the earth itself. In today's report, we're going to analyze why this spot is the unconquered anchor of Africa. We're looking at the facts, the history, and the street-level grit that kept this nation sovereign when everyone else was getting carved up by Europe. We're exploring the linguistic roots, the cultural flex, and the high-energy reality of a place that's been an empire since before empire was even a word. No cap. This is the foundation of everything. Let's get it. Look, if we're talking urban history, we got to go to the foundation. Ethiopia sits on the Afar Triangle, where three tectonic plates are basically having a tug of war. This created the Guayaquil Depression, one of the hottest, most hostile spots on the globe. National Geographic called it the cruelest place on Earth. And they weren't lying. Temperatures hitting 122 degrees Fahrenheit daily. That's not a summer heat wave. That's a lifestyle. Here's the play. People think extreme environments break you, but we argue that this environment built the people. Let's look at the facts. In 1994, researchers found Lucy right here, 3.2 million years old, walking upright. Then they found Ardi, 4.4 million years deep. In the Omo Valley, they found our direct ancestors from 200,000 years ago. Ethiopia is the cradle because the land demanded constant adaptation. You couldn't be soft and survive the Afar heat. This cerebralist energy is baked into the DNA of the culture. It's the historical root of why the Ethiopian personality is so resilient. If your ancestors could thrive in a place that looks like another planet, a colonial invasion is just another Tuesday. This isn't just history. It's a psychological blueprint for survival that spans millions of years. Now, let's talk business. Long before modern banking, the Kingdom of Axum was one of the big four alongside Rome, Persia, and China. These folks weren't just trading. They were the first African civilization to mint their own coins. That's real boss moves. Check the name. Ethiopia comes from Greek roots. This shows they were connected to the global trade routes, linking Rome to India. They weren't isolated in some corner. They were the plug for the ancient world. We got to talk about Lalibela. In the 12th century, King Lalibela wanted to build a new Jerusalem. But he didn't build up, he carved down 11 churches, each one hewn from a single unbroken piece of rock. No mortar, no bricks, just straight stone. Why carve into the ground? Our analysis suggests this was strategic architecture. By integrating their sanctuaries into the bedrock, they made them indestructible. It represents a faith that costs something, a devotion that is literally unshakable. This cultural history of carving into the earth created a psychological anchor for the people. It tells the world, we aren't going anywhere. We are part of the earth itself. All right, here's where the energy goes through the roof. Most of Africa was colonized in the 1800s, but Ethiopia, they said, not today. The facts, in 1896, Italy thought they were going to walk in and take over. They met the Ethiopian army at Adwa. Ethiopia didn't just show up. They mobilized 100,000 soldiers against 17,000 Italians. This wasn't just a win. It was a global shockwave. It was the first time an African nation shut down a European power in modern warfare. People ask, how'd they do it? We argue it's the distinction between occupation and control. Even when Mussolini came back in 1935 with chemical weapons and 5 years of occupation, Ethiopia never fully submitted. They fought from the hills, from the streets, and from the spirit. Emperor Haile Selassie was the face of this resistance. He modernized the country and became a messiah figure for the Rastafarian movement. His influence is the reason Ethiopia is seen as the spiritual birthplace for millions globally. The historical root here is sovereignty. It's in the blood. When you know you've never been owned, You walk differently. You can't talk about Ethiopia without the coffee. Facts. Ethiopia gave the world coffee. The legend of Kaldi and his hyped-up goats isn't just a story. It's the origin of the world's favorite fuel. The coffee ceremony is sacred. 3 rounds, the AWOL, the Tona, and the Baraka. It's not just a drink. It's a tradition that's been fueling the world for centuries. It's about community and conversation. Today, the future is rising in Addis Ababa. We're talking about a capital city sitting higher than almost any other in the world. The skyline is hitting new levels with the commercial bank of Ethiopia floors of pure ambition. And don't forget, Ethiopia hosts the African Union headquarters. They aren't just a part of Africa's future. They're the ones hosting the table. From planting 350 million trees in one day to breaking world records on the track. The Ethiopian spirit is about endurance and growth. They've gone from 38 million people in 1983 to over 135 million today. That's a young, hungry population ready to take over. So, what did we learn today on the Urban Concrete? We learned that Ethiopia is the unconquered anchor. We analyzed the geography that forged a warrior spirit, the architecture that showed ultimate devotion, and the military grit that kept the colonizers at bay. Ethiopia didn't just survive. It defined what it means to be a sovereign nation. It's a bridge of faith, a sanctuary for those in need, and the place where all our stories began. Next time you're sipping that latte or looking at the map, remember the nation that never folded. They are the original concrete. This has been a factual, high-energy report from the Urban Concrete. If you want more stories about the realest history on the planet, hit that subscribe button. We're out here bringing the facts to the streets. Peace.